A desperate rush for cover as a grim record is broken. The biggest ever aerial attack right across Ukraine since the Russian invasion began. And another first, a strike right at the heart of government in Kyiv. The cabinet building where ministers have offices was hit by drones and missiles, setting it alight.
Ми бачимо наслідки цієї ворожої атаки. Локалізовано пожежу на площі 800 метрів квадратних. Наші рятувальники продовжують тут працювати. І все виглядає таким чином, що Росія не готова.
And further out from the centre, heavily populated residential neighbourhoods of the capital blitzed.
Yet another attack. The two city districts of Darnitsky and Sviatoshinsky have suffered the most.
And this despite Kyiv's good levels of air defences. Elsewhere in the country there were further attacks. According to Ukraine, 805 Russian drones and 13 missiles were launched. In Kyiv alone, 4 people are dead, including a small child, and more than 40 are injured. As the war grinds into its 43rd month, the Russian summer offensive has been edging into the area north of Pokrovsk, described as the hot point of the front line. Since the meeting in Alaska between President Trump and President Putin 3 weeks ago, intense attacks like last night's on what Russia claims are Ukraine's military and infrastructure targets have increased. Meanwhile, European leaders rallied round today to condemn the strikes.
Our job as the UK, and the job that we're playing, leading the coalition of the willing, preparing to secure a peace for the long term, and leading the contact group supporting Ukraine in the fight now, is to make sure that we reflect the will of the British people, united for Ukraine, determined to stand alongside Ukraine for as long as it takes.
But how long will it take? Ukraine continues to counter-attacks on its territory with strikes on Russia. But progress on sanctions is what President Zelensky really needs from the US right now.
Are you ready to move to the second phase of sanctions against Russia or punishing Putin? How is your problem?
A glimmer of hope, perhaps, but that of a brokered ceasefire seems as far off as ever.
Well, I'm joined now in the studio by the Ukrainian opposition MP Lesia Vasylenko. Thank you very much for coming in. Good to see you this evening. Just picking up on that point, President Trump ready to implement new sanctions. What do you make of that?
We are hopeful yet again, but there's very little details about when, what sanctions, which sectors of the Russian economy are going to be targeted, and how harshly are they going to be implemented at the end of the day, because it's very important to have mechanisms in place that will not allow for sanctions to be circumvented as they are now.
In an ideal world, what do you really need to hear from Trump right now?
Well, right now we need to hear a full commitment to supplying Ukraine with the weapons it needs to defend itself. We need full commitment on security guarantees. We need sanctions straight away that will impact the energy markets, that will hit hard on Russian oil and gas, and basically any other sector of the Russian economy that allows Russia to still be standing, and not just standing, but to be making, mass-producing weapons that they then use to kill Ukrainians on a daily basis.
Just seeing the report from Sarah Bill there, we just saw the scale of all this. What is it like to look at that personally? And then also, what is it like just to see how many drones were fired last night?
Well, last night was unprecedented. I wasn't in the country already, but 805 drones. Trust me, it's a lot. Just a couple of weeks back, we had another massive attack, and it was just impossible to sleep. Basically, all you do throughout the whole of the night is you keep guessing whether it's a drone, whether it's a missile, whether it's our air defense, or whether it's something that's about to hit your house, your building, your block. And
well, I mean, what is that like for you and your family? What do you hear? And every moment you must be analysing what you're hearing.
The sad truth is we've gotten used to that. It's extremely difficult because in the moment you are scared. You basically, exist in fear, and you're just praying. You turn to God even if you're not religious, and you're just praying to wake up alive next morning. And when my kids woke up during the last attack and they were asking me, "Mum, what is this?" when there were explosions going on all around the house, I had to put the older two in the bathroom so that they would be protected by the double walls, and so that they wouldn't be hearing the noise and wouldn't be asking the questions, so that they would at least go to sleep. With my third one, my toddler, who's 4 years old, I just hope she wouldn't wake up. So I was just hovering above her. And basically,
and that's probably all she's ever known as well. I've been reading that, that was 800 drones, but actually in the autumn and in the winter, Russia could get to 2,000 drones. What would that look like, and what would that mean?
You see, tonight there was a hit, or actually this morning there was a hit of the government building. That means that our air defense is not strong enough to hit back on the attacks and to defend the capital city and the core of the capital city. Before this never happened, before, the central part of Kyiv, especially the government quarters, were always well protected. But as Russia raises the numbers of the drones and the missiles that they attack with at one time, it's impossible for any air defense, or at least for the air defense that we have at the moment, to withstand these attacks.
So is your concern that that's just going to happen more and more frequently?
My concern is that we need to increase our air defenses. We need to close the Ukrainian skies. This is absolutely possible. This is an appeal we've been making as politicians from day one of the 2022 escalation of Russia's aggression. And we are hoping that the coalition of the willing will now be able to actually proceed on that and help Ukraine close its airspace and protect its airspace, completely sealing it off from Russian attacks.
You're here for government meetings in the next couple of days. You will have heard these statements. Starmer said these cowardly acts show Putin believes he can act with impunity. Now more than ever, we need to stand firm for our support for Ukraine. Are these statements enough? What will you be saying to government ministers behind the scenes about what needs to be done?
The statements are loud and clear, and we are grateful for the political support as always, but we need on the ground support. We need these statements to materialize into fighter jets, into ammunition, into the possibility of Ukraine air defense to have enough capacity to withstand the attacks which are growing in number. And of course, we need these words to materialize into the weakening of Russia, because at the end of the day, it's Russia that is able to mass produce, not Ukraine and not any of the other European allies.
Lesia Vasylenko, great to see you in person. Thank you very much for joining us in the studio this evening. Thank you.